Hi everyone. Okay, so we're going to be continuing in the Steps to Vision Zero video series. And today we're going to be talking more about gathering data about your community. So in another video, we talked about how you can use the C.R.I.S query tool to find numbers about traffic crashes in your community. And that could be fatalities, serious injuries, all sorts of data that you can pull using that tool. And so today we're going to be using that data and calculating the financial cost of those crashes. And this is a really great tool to use because it's helpful when you're talking with elected officials to be able to put a financial cost on something. And congestion is a lot of times measured in terms of its financial impact. So this is really a direct way to compare the two. So you can see I have pulled up here this spreadsheet. This spreadsheet is available in the video description. It's also on the Farm&City website. And it's something we've created that we're hoping can make it easier for people to calculate the financial cost of crashes in their community. So we just use publicly available data and then put it together in this spreadsheet. If you scroll down, you can see, so this is information about where the data is coming from. We pulled data from the National Safety Council's Guide to Calculating Costs of Motor Vehicle Injuries. You can read more about that here. And that's where all of these numbers are coming from. And then the data we're going to be putting in would be the TxDOT C.R.I.S query system, which we talked about doing that in another video. And we can change that date to whatever day you're pulling the data from. And then you can see down here, we have instructions for the spreadsheet and then instructions for using the C.R.I.S tool. But we had another video that talked about using the C.R.I.S tool, and then I'm going to talk about how to use this spreadsheet pretty briefly here. So you can see here, the only thing you need to do are to fill out all of the blue cells. And if we look over on the left, you can see what those cells correspond to. So we're going to be looking at fatalities, suspected serious injuries, non-incapacitating injuries or suspected minor injuries, possible injuries, no injury, and then lastly, the total number of people involved in a crash. And so that's what we're doing for this column D. We're looking at the people impacted by all of those different things that I just listed. And that's going to automatically calculate for us over here all of these costs based on that data from row D and the data we already have in here from rows B and C. So to start with, you first need to decide what area and what year you're going to be looking at. So I'm going to look at 2019 in Midlands because that's the example I used in the C.R.I.S query tool video. So the first thing is we're going to be looking for the total number of people who died in a traffic crash in Midland in 2019. So luckily I have that pulled up already here in the C.R.I.S tool. I've just calculated that in the query builder. And if I scroll to the bottom, I can see that was 17 people. So I'm just going to put 17 here. Now, the next thing is suspected serious injuries. So to look at that, we're going to go back up here to this filter. And if you'll remember before, we had put in fatal injury. Now we're going to click on it. And we're going to edit this. So we're going to keep the fields the same, the operator the same, but we're going to change this select value. And we're going to change it to suspected serious injury. So click on that and then click save. And now it should have updated. If this is a lot of people, it may take a while to update, but this is a small search, so it was very fast. And now we can see that was 88 people corresponded to that. So we'll put 88 in here. Now, the next thing is non-incapacitating injuries or suspected minor injuries. So we'll go back to this tool, scroll back up, click here on this filter again. Now we keep the fields the same, operator the same, change the value though to suspected minor injury. Hit save, scroll down, and we can see that was 564 people. And then we're looking for possible injuries. So we go back to C.R.I.S. We click on this field again. We're changing the value to possible injury. Now hit save. Scroll down, 1,277 people. So we put that in. And then the last thing we need to do is this last blue cell. So that's the total number of people involved in a crash. So to figure that out, all we need to do is just get rid of this filter. So if we delete it, then all we're looking for is the total number of people involved in a crash in Midland in 2019. And you can see here that was 11,708 people. Put that in here. Great. And so then we just want to update some things. So you can see up here at the top, the title of this table. We want to say that this is 2019 cost of traffic crashes in Midland. And then this column stays the same. This one stays the same. This one we want to update people impacted by 2019 Midland crashes. And then just update all of these. 2019 estimated economic cost and 2019 estimated comprehensive cost. So you can see these are the two key numbers here. And to explain a little bit of the difference, so this one is economic cost, whereas this one is comprehensive cost. And you can see they're very different numbers. So I'm going to go down here to the National Safety Council, and we're just going to click on this link because this explains well the difference between those two. There are just different things that go into calculating those two costs. So the economic cost is calculated by wage and productivity losses, medical expenses, administrative expenses, motor vehicle damage, and employers' uninsured cost. So that's what this value is, the 205,608,000. Now the comprehensive cost, if we scroll a bit down here, you can see they talk about comprehensive cost, and that is looking at the value of lost quality of life. And that's obtained through empirical studies of what people actually pay to reduce their safety and health risks. And so that involves, it's not the pure economic cost that involves then that lost quality of life as well, which is why that number is so much higher. So you can print this out and bring it with you to speak with an elected official or share it with community members, and you can explain what these numbers mean. And that can be a really great tool as you're trying to talk about the problem of traffic deaths in your community. So if you all have any questions about using this spreadsheet, if we made any mistakes or it's not working, please let us know. Feel free to visit our website, farmandcity.org, or you can send us an email.